with our youngest member, who's also our brand ambassador, the great Ferdinand Omanyala, a true Kenyan mashujaa. So, my good man, my fellow Ubunite.
Yes.
It's so good to have you over here.
Thanks, okay?
First thing I want to ask you about is how's the academy coming along? Because I know last year at the French embassy, you talked about your vision for an academy.
Yeah.
How's that coming along?
No, it's going well. This year we supported 2 athletes who made it to the national team, the World Championships that we had in Tokyo.
Okay.
So the 2 athletes that I supported made it the team. So that was a big plus for me. So they're already set. So now we're looking to select others and work with them through the journey. So it's been getting a lot of support as well. And I'm glad because it's growing. And I believe in small steps. Baby steps are what builds a bigger thing in future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're looking forward toward the Olympic Games. It's going to be in LA.
3 years, in 3 years, yeah.
And do you and your fellow athletes do things like let's go together for Grand Prix or let's go together, for World Cup or that kind of thing? Do you plan such experiences?
No, it's always on you because how it works is you have an agent who you sit down with your coach and the other team, and depending on how you're feeling again, because it's the body. It's not like you wake up and say I'm running tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you select the races.
Yeah.
And mostly, like in the Diamond Leagues, it's so expensive to have us there.
Yes.
So they only have 4 or 3 big athletes.
Okay.
And then now other athletes are like, because now it's top 30, so they might pick the top 10, and then now they spread the top 30 to the other end. So it's not like you plan with other athletes and say like we're going. So it's always on your team and the race organizers, because they have to pay for the appearance fees, and depending on which athlete you are, how long have you been in the sport, how consistent have you been, that dictates your appearance fee. So it's always 4-3 big athletes and then spread it out.
Have you ever been somewhere, doing your thing as an athlete, and there's another major event happening of another sport, but of course because of conflicting schedules and times you can't attend that? In the same zone? Yeah, like for example, you're somewhere doing your running, and then there's like Formula 1 happening, kind of thing.
No, it's always like maybe a week apart. Because I've been to Monaco when there was that F1 that was happening. We were in the States at some point when there's a Grand Slam happening. Okay. So it's not always at the same time. Yeah. But maybe in football, I've watched a couple of football matches in France. Okay. Yeah, after my races, and even basketball matches. Yeah. And when you go for those sort of matches, they're like, merci, Omanyala, he's in the crowd. I was honored in one of the basketball semi-finals. Right. Actually, that was in Milan. Okay. That was in Spain. Okay. I was given the jersey of the kid of the team. Yes. And that was good. And being announced on that quarter break, that was massive. On the Jumbotron. Yeah. That thing is, so we all know what can do. Okay. So how does Omanyala relax? Like now, I mean, it's just nice to talk about my story and share my story with people. And it's funny because I love the simplest of things. Right. I've been around the world. I've been sleeping in the best hotels, running in the best stadiums in the world. So every time I get a chance, I want to go to the lowest life. I want to. Like yesterday, I was laughing with someone. I was telling her that I wish I can get the simplest of rooms, zile rooms unapatanga kwa, if you're going to, for us when you drive to Western, we get to a place where there's no tall buildings, there's no story buildings. With half slippers. Yeah, wamekata, That's the life that I miss, I want to live the simplest of life. Yeah. I guess sometimes I always say myself I'm past that because I can't. I want to live a life where I can wake up in the morning and, wrap a towel around my waist and just go and sit on the sun and just relax and watch the tea being cooked on the side with the 3 stones. Speaking of tea and meals, that kind of thing, you're very particular about what you eat, right? Of course, yeah. So sometimes even depends on the time, because there's a time I can't eat, especially after training, because the body needs to recover first before you can put in a foreign thing in your body. So that also affects, like, after a heavy training, it takes like 3 hours before you can have something in my stomach. Yeah. So if your friends are inviting you over for a meal, do they tell you like 3 days in advance? And what that of course, even not 3 days, 2 weeks. and what because there are things specifically I can't eat, especially now when we have started our training. There are things that I can't just bump into and start eating. Yeah.
So this is your third year as a brand ambassador for KISP.
Yeah.
How did the chairman and festival director, Mr. Asif Karim, convince you to become a brand ambassador?
So I think we met, I don't remember how we met, but this conversation started when he told me about a documentary on me. And I was like, yeah, I think that's something that we need to do.
Yeah.
And then he told me that there's this film festival that he always hosts. That was, I think, the 5th edition, the previous year.
Yes.
So I was like, this is interesting. So actually, it was before, and now I remember how we met. Right. It was before because he does my insurance for all my cars.
There you go.
So then that conversation that picked up, and I was like very interested in this festival because I believe in telling stories. I'm a camera guy, so I love cameras. Yes. I love just being out there. So I thought this is something that I need to be part of and even convince other athletes.
Oh, so you like camera gear and all
cameras, man. Me anytime I see cameras, I feel like this is my thing.
In Ubuntu, then you should look at the audio gear and camera gear and all that kind of stuff. It's there. It's a conversation worth having. And so you're a family of athletes, right? Because even your wife is also.
Yeah, I mean, my wife does athletics. She's in South Africa at the moment. She's training for long jump. My young brother, our last born,
right,
played rugby in high school, and now I brought him to the track.
Okay.
And he's an under 20 champion actually from last year, and he has run some good times.
Yes.
So we are initiating him to the senior level. So.
And you started with rugby yourself?
I started rugby. I still love rugby.
And then somebody saw his playing and was like, hey, wait a minute, this guy can also do
I was doing massacres the guys in the field.
Right.
Because I'm the only guy who used to get out of the pitch, even when it's raining, with my clothes still clean.
Yes.
Because I haven't been tackled by anyone. I was a bit slippery, and the only thing I needed to do was just sidestep. Yeah. Just know how to change your speed at very high speed.
Yeah.
I mean, change your direction at very high speed.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I mastered, and nobody could touch me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And aside from that, you also get kung kung law and order.
Yeah, I'm a police. I work at DCI, so basically not like going to work every day, but at some point maybe utanipata hapo na handle some homicides.
What do you specialize in? What forensics?
So my background actually, I'm a student at University of Nairobi, Chiromo, doing a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. So I want to do forensics, so analyzing the chemicals and all that stuff in the labs.
It's very interesting because now you're doing, you want to do forensics. Olunga is an engineer.
I mean, there's that notion. There's that notion that athletes are some dumb people,
which is very wrong.
Which is wrong,
because
I think, let's say it's something that has been happening because most of the athletes, not, I don't know about footballers or rugby players are very learned actually. But most athletes, when they get, they start young.
Yeah.
So they go for the under 20 championships when they're like 12, 13, 14, 15.
Exactly.
So they're being misguided and told, now the money is here, leave school.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to school to look for money. But I don't think that's true, because you go to school, get the knowledge and get the exposure that you need for the afterlife.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the money.
Yes.
It's about the knowledge. So there's been that perception that school is not important once you get money. So then most athletes have been going into professional running and they forget about. So that's why it's been perceived that most athletes are not so good upstairs.
No, I mean, in the US they call them jocks,
Yeah.
I remember I had a friend of mine who was a former NFL player in the US. And they have a playbook.
Oh, yeah.
They actually have a playbook.
They do.
Even the quarterback, he's got like a mic inside his helmet, and he's being told, play this, whatever, that kind of thing.
You have to be sharp to play that game,
Exactly.
man.
So there's strategy involved. There's tactics involved. And most of those guys, ex-NFL, they go into business because already you have that,
of course.
that kind of thing.
And that's one thing that I want to push actually for athletes, because say for me, as an example, I have at most 8 years for active athletics.
Right.
If it stretches too much, it's 10 years.
Yes.
So I'll be like 40, and then I live. God gives me 90 years.
Yes.
So you have 50 more years to live,
exactly.
and you have to live off of the time that you've been active. So what happens if you don't have anything else to look at, to fall back to? So I tell athletes, knowledge is something that nobody can take away from you.
Yes.
You know, once you have that knowledge, you have an edge over the others because one, you have a name.
Yeah.
And two, you've been around the world, you've been exposed and all that. So the other thing that will do you good is have a degree or a diploma or a certificate in anything so that you can live off that. So I try and push that a lot because I've seen athletes suffer.
Yes.
And you know, when you're up there, the fame and the money blinds you.
Yeah.
And one thing we need to understand as athletes is that the money really goes down quick.
Exactly.
Once you start using the money,
yeah,
and there's no coming back, it just like goes and goes and goes. And once you realize that the sponsors are not with you anymore, you're not being invited to races anymore, you don't make that money that you were making in the last like active years, then it starts now getting to you and you start now getting into depression and stuff.